Welcome. Dude, a lot going on right now. Jason just hands me this. Whoa. Too bad there's no water in it.
Oh. Well, I didn't want to make a mess like I did last time I did a liquid death.
Yeah, but that was hilarious.
Oh, was it?
I thought it was pretty funny.
The microphone's not facing me. Oh, well then as long as you're...
Now we have we have merch.
We do.
We've got a cup. This is pretty sick. This is like a Moscow Mule cup.
It's there you go.
Right?
You could get drunk. I have coffee in it, but you could get drunk with it if you wanted to. There you go.
I'm celebrating.
Wait, is that a Tony Hawk brewski?
Yes.
That's fucking gangster.
This is it. Black Plague.
It's called Black Plague?
Black Plague is the brand.
Oh, they
the
make lots of beer and they gave it Tony Hawk signature
hops.
My wife is so pumped on that.
What's that?
That you've got a pun in it. Tony Hops. She can't drink.
We're not just doing merch here. We're celebrating because Jason and I came to skate.
Yeah.
We had no intention of doing a show. And this dude, cheers.
And this dude, us dudes, very capable.
He starts trying Vero Flip Indies and puts one down. And I got so fired up, I started trying to make it.
Yeah, that one. I was one of those ones where I was like, you're nowhere near it. And I was like, oh my God, you could have made that one. I'm like, why did you jump off? We could be leaving now. But I'm glad I jumped off because it wasn't high enough. I wanted to do a bigger one. And I got like it's hard to go high for me. It just old. I was wondering when it was going to happen. I see older guys not going as high.
It's not that it's
who's old that goes high?
Lincoln.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
all the guys that go high, they keep going high. Maybe it's a little bit lower. It's all about your landing. Because the problem is your setup airs are inconsistent. That's it. And so when you get a good one, you go high.
Yep.
It's not like you can't go high.
Yes.
It's just not as consistency. Yeah.
And when you're 50, you don't need a lot of inconsistencies. You need it to look. I don't have that many attempts, and if I have to fall off on 75 backside airs, we're not going to make a varial kickflip indie.
So. Then I don't know, like 5 tries later, he makes one clean, super high.
Yeah, clean, solid.
And then I'm getting kind of close.
Yeah, and kind of pissed.
And then I threw my board against the wall once.
I was like, now I feel uncomfortable because I feel like I've somehow set up you for a bad afternoon.
No, it wasn't that. It was more that, okay, if we're getting into the weeds, we're 2 minutes in, we're in the weeds.
Let's do it.
I have size 13 feet. It takes a lot for me to set up.
Real quick, everybody, I have a huge penis. Anyway, let me talk about this story.
Too. No,
I love how you're blaming...
You buried us in the algorithm.
You're blaming...
Again.
I said penis. That's politically correct. But Bigfoot makes it harder for you to flip your board, you think?
Yes. Because I don't have the street, like, ollie slide out. So I've got to set my foot up. So I need my heel hanging off. And the issue with that is, on a setup air, I'm already got my feet kind of set up, and then I put my foot even more in position. So I'm riding across the flat in the worst stance.
Yeah, in a stance that doesn't allow you to do any turning whatsoever.
No turning, yeah.
Right.
If anything, it's going to start to veer front side.
That's real bad.
Because I'm right on my heel.
Yep.
And so as long as I can maintain a straight line, then my feet are good to flick it. But that's rare. And the consistency is the issue. Again, like I don't have that consistency. So when I do have it in the right place, and then I flick it, and then I miss the grab. And it was like, that's not the thing I thought I had a problem with.
What are the odds of all that working out again? I get it. Because I feel like when it goes wrong, I'm like, I just needed that one little other thing to go right. But that was
it. So I finally was flipping it, and then every single time I'm reaching for it, and I'm somehow catching it too far, like I'm reaching around.
Yeah, no, it looked like it was flipping up in between your legs.
I was going like suitcase grab. And then...
Did you ask for me for a pointer?
I did, yeah.
And then it worked. Yeah, that's what happens. Call me, DM me. I'll help you make your tricks too, everybody.
We'll show all this. But then I did catch one, and I didn't snap far enough out. And I was like,
did the squat.
Let's just go for it. Tried to squat it out, shot on the flat, walked away, and realized very quickly that I got a butt splitter.
So much fun.
Dude.
This made all my afternoon become so much fun.
I was surprised that I looked up to expect you filming me.
I was filming you.
When I was in pain?
No, because I filmed you slam and then I kept the camera on you because I was like, oh, you hit your ass. And now I'm filming your face and you're like, dude. And I'm like, oh, you're not hurt. And then it took like 10 seconds to kick in.
It was when I started to walk away when I realized that something was amiss.
He had to
my
knock up the stairs for a minute because he had to make sure that his asshole was there.
Yeah,
that was awesome. Oh man,
it feels very uncontrolled when that happens. Like, oh, something's gonna happen here.
Man, I don't.
So then, that's when I started getting pissed because then I knew I could get it.
Right. Yeah.
That's when it clicks into, oh, I really can be doing this now.
Yeah.
So every other attempt after that was just more frustration, not like, ah, man, I almost did it.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's why I had a little
hissy fit between friends
yeah.
is fine. But it also is a little bit of a, oh man, I hope I didn't inconvenience your afternoon by telling you should try this trick.
You didn't even tell me. I just jumped on it.
I know. And let's go back a little bit where I was like he was like, dude, you could do a kickflip indie. And I was like, you think? And then I tried it. And then he did one while I didn't because I knew I wasn't good enough to do one yet. And then 2 weeks later, I made one.
Payback's a bitch.
And now, this one, unfortunately, I did it before you. These are the breaks, Tony. Don't give up though, you know?
So I didn't have a rage quit. I had a rage reset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew you weren't going to quit, but I definitely, it was one of those ones where you're like, fuck. And I'm like, I hope he's okay. I'm not going to look down there. I'm just going to be like, you'll be all right. You'll bounce back. But I felt a little like, man, you'll be all right. You'll make it. You better make it because then I'll feel bad.
So we were just planning to skate and then come up here and do our ad reads.
Yeah.
And it was like, we're too fired up. We just got to do a show. So now this is a spontaneous show. This was not planned. And here we are.
Yeah. We're still sweaty. We didn't plan on doing any of this stuff. I did do, I've had since the last show, because we did it, we don't usually do this. We don't usually see each other this often. This is a Thursday and then a Saturday. So on Thursday.
Today's Saturday? Oh, yeah. Tomorrow's Halloween.
I know. I came down here on Thursday, did a show with you, skateboarded with you, and then left. And I didn't eat because I came down super early to do the show. And then when I got back to the house, I just didn't feel hungry from skateboarding. And I had to do my show. And then next thing you know, I was like, I got to go to this stand-up thing that I've been sweating it because it's a proper stand-up comedy club with Ryan Sickler, who's a proper comedian. I usually have just been doing Tuesday nights at this place called the Dime Bar, and it's usually about 7 people, and most of them are comedians.
Dime Bar, is that Long Beach?
No, Dime Bar is on Fairfax in Hollywood.
So where was this show?
This is the Brea Improv. So it's a little further out, but it is gigantic.
Really?
So immediately as I drive past it, I go, the fear strikes me so hard because I'm like, I'm not going in there. No one deserves, you need to see something more professional if you're going to go in that giant building. Not to mention, I know who's the headliner is Ryan Sickler. Ryan Sickler is a world famous comic. Like everybody in comedy.
Yeah, but
knows him as a legit fucking high level comic. So that I go to the door and then the other guy that's on the comedy, there's fucking 3 people, Tony. It's one guy, me, and Sickler.
Okay, but still, they came to see Ryan Sickler. So even if, I mean, I know you probably did all right and you get to that, but even if you didn't do great, they're just there mostly to get to the main event.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
But I can't help thinking I've been putting in a lot of work with this lately, and it is starting to turn around. And I know could be a bad idea,
but someone opened up for you.
He's a proper, but that was the other thing. He's a proper comedian who has a career. He makes a living out of it, and he's like, "Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Are you nervous?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." Because when I walked in, all of a sudden, it's this giant place with this big stage with all these spotlights. I usually stand on a soapbox at the Dime Bar. And somebody usually has a torch, and that's our spotlight. This place, it's like a curtain in the back, and he's like, "Don't worry, I'll mention your name, and then you come out, and you'll be fine. You'll do great." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I'm thinking about my routine, and I'm like, "I'm going to forget it." And then I'm like, I'm starting to say to myself, can you remember to do your routine when you see the light flash to say, "Hey, everybody, coming up next is the person you all came to see, Ryan Sickler." I was that worried about me recalling my comedy that I thought maybe I'd be like, "Thank you," and just walk off. That's how worried I was of remembering anything.
How long was your set?
15 minutes, which is long.
Yeah.
You know, for a guy that I've killed it 3 times. And that night where I was like, you've killed it 3 other places. And both the other places were very small. But this is Ryan Sickler's fans. They like you. You've been on his podcast 3 times. They'll like you. But I'm telling you, the nerves that I had behind this curtain where I hear him and I see a little slot where the light is so bright from in there coming out. And I'm like, oh, it is gnarly on the other side of this curtain. And my knee starts twitching. And I'm like, calm down, dude. Calm down. And I'm like, are you really this nervous, dude? Like, are you and I'm like, I feel a little faint. And I'm like, for a second, I was like, leave, get out of here. Like it was that, and then it's like, ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna love him. You've seen him on YouTube. That was the other thing that's changed my whole joke. They were joking in the green room about if you don't have a list of stuff, then they'll just say you've seen him on YouTube.
Oh my God!
So because he said that joke in the green room, he was like trying to be funny for me to come out. He's like, he's a funny guy. You've seen him on YouTube. And so now because the whole time I'm thinking about my routine, and then I hear him go that, and I go, oh, that's funny. And then I open the curtain, it's like, wham! Like lights, hundreds of people, and I'm like, oh, look cool, look like you're not nervous. And I'm like, And then I see the microphone, and then him, he's like, and I'm like, I'm going to die. I'm going to fry right now in front of all these people. And then just something that was like when you had me on the radio the first time.
Just clicked in.
I go, and then I go, and then I go, and then I got here. Now I'm walking around the stage, and at one point everyone was laughing so fucking hard I had to stop.
Oh wow!
Because it was
that's next level.
And I was like, don't act like that's freaking you out. Don't act like you're surprised. But at the same time, I was like, dude, you're not doing bad. You're killing it. You're killing it right now. So then I do my whole thing. I see the light. And I'm like, oh, the light. I was worried I wouldn't even see the light. I swear, I was like, I'm not going to understand.
Did you cut your act short because you saw the light?
No, it was usually, no, because I'll add if I have to, but usually it'll go, because now I've got a routine and I'm working on evolving the routine every time I do it. So the routine's getting longer every time I do it because I'm inserting more jokes. Mm-hmm. They're called tags in the game, Tony. Tags.
Got it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So I do this set and then I have one more banger joke that I accidentally, it just weaved in and it was a good, everybody laughed and I was like, this guy, thanks everybody. And I'm like, man, that could not have gone any better. Ryan Sickler comes out, big grin on his face. He's like, how was that for you? Good? And I was like, that was fucking unbelievable. And then he did his set and I watched him. And
how long is this set?
An hour.
Yeah.
He's the pro. So then I go out there and there's like hundreds of people that are like, hey man, you're funny as fuck. And I'm like, this guy doesn't know me from skateboarding or radio or anything. He just thinks I'm a comedian. And he thinks I'm worth seeing.
That's
I was like,
great.
I was so.
Did anyone recognize you from YouTube or from SiriusXM? Like anyone know who you were?
Yeah, there were some Jason Ellis show fans in the crowd.
Oh, they had already bought tickets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I did promote it. But I thought I only promoted it like 3 days beforehand. But it's just weird it was just such a big professional giant thing. And then to top it off, a friend of mine that helped run my website who helped me with some comedy stuff, he was there with his film crew. So it's all on video. So I haven't got it yet, but I have documentation of me killing it in a comedy club. And then afterwards, in the green room, Sickler goes, look, I said, something about not being a comedian, but I'm really trying to be. And he's like, hey, I just paid you. You just killed it in front of 500 people, and now you're eating cold French fries in the green room. You're a fucking comedian.
Yeah, that's it.
And I was like, oh, really? He's like, this is what it is. And I was like, well, then hell yeah, it's great to be here. It was a really, I'm on a roll with, I think that might be one of the coolest things I've ever done. Yep. I've been saying that a lot lately.
Have you bombed?
Oh yeah. At the Dime Bar, it's almost like almost everybody there's a comedian. They're either not listening or only laugh when you bomb. Like when they know no one laughs, you'll hear like, ha, and that's a comedian going, ha, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had that.
Oh yeah, but that was in front of, you told me that. That was
a
in front
small
of
crowd.
all the,
I've never bombed
experts,
in front of a huge crowd, but I've only had a huge crowd.
I've heard comedians talk about when they just can't. It just doesn't connect. And it's almost like, this is funny because it's so terrible.
Yeah. No. I kind of like it.
Which is almost like they're having more fun. Like the other comedians in the back are having more fun.
Yeah.
And it's worth everything to them because someone's bombing and that's hilarious.
Yes. Hey, we're in holiday season again. I'm Jason Ellis.
I'm Tony Hawk.
Yeah, and we're talking about Mint Mobile. I've got Mint Mobile. If you don't have Mint Mobile, then obviously you're like maybe you're a famous rapper and you like to brag about how much money you waste. But not over here at Hawk versus Wolf. I don't
brag about that.
I got this. See this phone right here? This is Mint Mobile. The show calls me, and it's $15 a month. $15. You've got to be joking me, mate. Right? Mint Mobile has a deal that is for a limited time that we don't usually talk about. So this is usually I just say you've got to be joking me. $15 a month. Well, now for a limited time, 3 months plan for free. Free. Then $15 a month. Same, it's got the 5G network. It's a phone. Does all the things that all your phone. You could have your phone, and then you could switch it over right now to Mint Mobile. Keep your same number, and Bob will be your uncle. $15.
Bob's your uncle. I knew it was coming.
Man. Oh man, I gotta call it. Oh, you guys are sorry. I broke my hand punching somebody on the weekend. For a limited time, by any 3-month Mint Mobile plan, and get 3 more months free by going to mintmobile.com/Hawk. Man, this is just for Hawk now. That's mintmobile.com/Hawk. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month, everybody, at mintmobile.com/Hawk. Oh man, Ellis and Tony Hawk. Holiday season is giving thanks, friends at Manscaped. Yeah. I want to tell my extended family that I have Performance Package 4.0. I've got 3 4.0s because I think they accidentally send my Jason Ellis show people. I don't know. I shouldn't say this because I
only have one.
Yeah. Well, too bad. You know what? You could probably hit up Manscaped. I bet you they like you. But do you have the 4.0 or is it?
One.
Do you have a new one? Do you have the 4.0?
No.
Oh, wait. What? I think I'm getting all your Manscapes. I'll drive one down. I promise I didn't put it on my butt or anything. I promise I would not do that. These are the future of all. I would not do that to Tony Hawk. There's no greater shaving.
Are you sure you can keep track of all of them though? Are you sure that
well, there's ones in the bag. I'm not going to give you one that's been out of the bag. That's crazy talk, Tony Hawk.
Okay.
I would not do that. If you wanted to gift somebody a Manscaped this Christmas, you could do so. And if you did so through us, we could get you a 20% discount before you get it. So that'd be smart, right? Free shipping. Use code HawkWolf at manscaped.com. That's 20% off, everybody. Free shipping with the code HawkWolf at manscaped.com. Be thankful this holiday season for the best gift of all from Manscaped. Wait. Yeah. Of all from
They're trying to say like all of mankind.
Oh, thank you. I love how you can read it better without seeing it.
Manscapes.
Your balls will thank you, man. At the dime bar, I have done it where I'm doing the thing like this, so you can't see me laughing, and then it just gets so bad where I'm like, I hope you didn't hear me do that, but he's dying so bad. And the extra silence after he goes, and then I hit the cat in the oven. And it's like, no. And he's like, but he's still going, oven? Are you sure?
Yeah, wait, let's try it again.
And everyone's like, yeah, we're sure. Not good.
Let me say it with a different inflection.
But it's super similar to skateboarding, dude. Like a contest where, I skate all day. Hey. And they're like, coming up next is Jason Ellis. I ain't fucking playing, dude.
Yeah.
I'm in a different mode. And then as soon as the ride's over, you got this, and then I did the thing and we did a thing. And then, whoa, hey, you're all hopped up and high on life.
Yeah.
It was the exact same thing. But the difference is you ain't physically hurt. No matter how bad you do. You're never physically hurt.
That is the attitude we walked in here today.
We did varial kick with
we
today.
both did varial flip indies. Woo, let's just go record. We're on it. It's happening.
You're going to see the varial kick flip indie. You're not going to see the other 12.
Why not?
I was like, oh, my bag.
Oh, I'm definitely showing the butt splitter.
Well, then I got to give you my ones because I chicken necked myself like fucking 40 times. What?
Yeah, well, you kept missing the pump, so you started to fly out towards the flat and then just free falling.
Yeah, with not cool knees. So I can't land on my knees. I just do like some weird back jolt thing where the next day I look like I need to take it looks like I need to shit a human head out. Does that make any sense? Like, I feel like when I get out of bed and I walk from my bed towards the shower, it looks like I'm like, oh no, I've got a human head stuck in my anus and I need to shit it out. And if I told you that and you saw me walk, you'd be like, yeah, it might have a head in your anus, man.
Why is it a head?
Because the camera's up. It's like I go, wait, you angle that camera and I'll do it. I'll come at you. So put it this way and I'll come towards you. So it's more like this, that I do this thing where it must be something heavy in here. So it's like,
but why is it a human head? Why can't it be like a bowling ball or something?
Because it's not that heavy. It's just like a human head. I love when we start filming shit. If I feel like the guys at cast are like, please don't adjust the cameras.
Are you centered on this one?
Tony Hawk cam. Hey man, you're good at filming skateboarding, so you can film us standing here.
I can do static shots, no problem.
Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's it.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's been
So you are a comedian. You're a paid comedian.
Yes. I made $200 this week.
You have a solid 15 minutes.
Stand-up comedy alone. Not to mention how much money I've made from this merchandise coffee mug here.
I should tell you my story. The first time I didn't know this is what I was doing, but I found out that I got a speaking gig.
Wait.
This is back in the sort of, heyday of THPS. And it was right after I did the Milk Mustache
yes. Ad. Who can forget? Those of you who can forget, Hey,
that was exciting. That was Annie Leibovitz shot that.
Who did?
Annie Leibovitz.
I don't know who photographers are. Sorry, dude.
She's big time.
I know. I can tell.
But then I was doing other stuff with Milk because they had a Milk scholarship where people would do creative writing, and then they asked me to be one of the judges of the creative writing, and then they would give scholarships throughout the year. They're major.
Yeah.
And then they said, "Oh, we want you to come to the event where we hand out the awards and the scholarships." It was in Orlando. Cool. And I just happened to be there for a different event. So
that worked out.
They're like, "Oh yeah. Come, it'd be great. You'll be one of the guests and da-da-da." And then I started to realize as I was there before I got there, they said, "Oh, can you send us any sort of video elements you want?" I was like, "Video elements? I guess." So I just sent raw skate footage.
Yeah.
Unedited. Yeah, I had no idea what I was walking into. I didn't understand that what they expected from me was a polished speech. Okay. I had no idea.
Okay.
So I'm just in the audience, like they have a dinner, and then
how many people?
Oh, I don't know, 400 or something, 500. Yeah,
that's a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
And then this guy gets up and does this full polished motivational speech. He was an Olympian. He goes through his whole story, shows the highlights of it, what he learned, how he connected with himself afterwards.
And the whole time you're watching it, you realize...
I'm watching, like, they want me to do that. I don't do that.
And you're like, wait, I think my video footage is just random shit. It doesn't have any accolades.
Absolutely. And then they're like, and next to the stage, we've got Tony Hawk. And I was like,
you're next.
Oh, no. And Jared, who runs 900 Films here, been here forever.
Yeah.
He was my guest.
Yeah.
So when they call my name, he looks at me and he's like, he looks at me like, oh my God, you have to go do that. It dawned on us both.
Does he think it's funny?
He's frightened for me.
Oh, that's
I could tell because he was just like, okay, go ahead, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then I get up on stage and they start playing my footage. There's no sound. It's film. Like, this is after we shot the end. So it's just raw skate footage. Is it just you or is it other
skaters?
It's just me and clips long enough to edit. So it's like, heel flip 360 all the way out, pumping back up. And then the next trick. And then finally someone's like, play some music.
Somebody said that.
Yeah. And so then they just start playing some random rock and roll track underneath it. And I was like,
while you're talking?
no, I'm not talking yet. This is my intro.
Oh my God.
Because this was my intro video. Yeah. So
nobody checked it?
What? We had no idea. Like, I didn't know this was a thing that happened. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't in that circle. And I think they just assumed that I was because of whatever I was doing at the time.
Yeah.
Or the success I had. And so I just thought, I guess I'll go tell my story. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so they show the footage, they play the music, whatever. It just kind of fades away.
Someone
There's not some banger. You know what I mean? It's just
someone
footage.
says play some music and then you start hearing music. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then I got up there and tried to be motivational, but I don't remember it. The whole thing was like a dream. Like something just clicked and I just told a story.
Yeah.
And then tried to keep coming back to, but just believe in yourself and you can do it. And like, I'm doing this and no one thought it could be a career and it turned into a career. And you just got to keep pushing through and doing what you love. And then I was like, thank you. And then I sat down and I never forget, I looked at Jared and Jared goes, like,
I think you're in the clear.
You did it. Yeah.
I think that wasn't that
I
bad.
think it worked. Yeah.
Fuck. Who gets in trouble isn't that like your manager or something supposed to set you up a little better?
It was just there was a failure of communication all the way
Like,
through. I think it was more that they assumed I did that kind of stuff. My management assumed that it wasn't going to be something so serious. And no one through the line of communication knew that this is a speaking gig. That's what it is. And now I do speaking gigs. I understand what that is. And I understand that I actually have to come prepared with the story arc and with anecdotes. It's like doing comedy.
Fuck yeah, it is.
And so and the
you got to remember a lot of stuff.
You can bomb too, where it's like the hardest one I ever did was I think I did it in Ireland, where it was a stage and then a big audience. This is probably like 10 years ago or so, but this big audience on one side and then a smaller audience on the other side. It was a 360 stage.
Like Metallica or some shit.
But not all the way around. So it was like there were two different rooms. It was super weird.
So you had to rotate?
Yes.
Oh.
And so you're like,
are you getting eye contact with these fools?
I do this sort of general eye contact where I just sort of skim the crowd, but I don't actually look at anyone in particular because if I do, I'll lose my concentration. Right. And I probably it probably looks kind of wild. It probably doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't, because my eyes are just sort of shifting around.
Yeah.
But that's just how I can do it.
I don't know. Look, I feel like there's depending on where you are, if you're a comedian eyeing somebody and having a conversation with them, it kind of shows how calm you are and you're sort of interacting with the crowd. It loosens people up. I get the angle of it, but if you're not good with quick-witted things to say, probably not a good idea to start that conversation in the first place.
Yeah.
But I felt like there was people that I could see in the crowd on Thursday night that I could tell as soon as I caught their eye, I was like, oh, this guy's super, like he thinks it's hilarious. Everything I'm saying is hilarious. I can just be like, you, sir, is that your wife next to him? And he's already laughing. And I've just asked him who his wife is. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's her. You know, like he's already just like, please say something remotely funny and we're fucking gone. And so I can play with those guys. And then it turns out one of the people that I interacted with, because I was like, this couple are fucking down for the cause. And I was like, you guys get it, right? Blah, blah, blah. And I had made some jokes with them. Like 2 hours later on my Instagram, they're like, man, we're huge fans. We've been listening to your show for like 10 years. And I was like, your face gave it away.
Yeah,
I was like, right, you guys, right. I could be like.
I can spot skaters in the crowd.
Right. Oh, yeah, because it's a different look, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that they look at, you could be a pro skater and look at Tony Hawk and go, holy shit, Tony Hawk. You could be a not skateboarder and go, holy shit, Tony Hawk. And you can tell which is the difference.
But I can also tell which ones used to skate.
Yes.
There's a certain look of that too, where it influenced their character, it influenced their style. They don't really do it, but they still hold it dear, and it's still kind of, they still project it.
Respect is still there from their childhood. They're like, I remember this man as a man that you respected, and now I'm 45, and he, goddamn it, is still the man that I respect. Hey everybody, Jason Ellis here with Tony Hawk talking about disco. I did not know about these guys and their products, but they sent it to me, and it's a fact. It's unfortunate, but I am getting older, and I am seeing that my face is coming off. And I'm also very popular and hilarious and charismatic and talented. And it's like, don't you dare laugh after I say that, Tony Hawk. And I bring attention to myself because of how sweet I am.
Are you reading a script?
No, I'm just laughing at what an idiot I am. Like how sweet idiot. But this stuff, it's got tons of really cool stuff in it, and it's not very expensive. But there's like a face wash where you got like a black block on in your face, and you put all this stuff all over your face, and then you wash it off, and then your face is all eucalyptusy and stuff. It's pretty refreshing. Oh, hello, my cat. But there's all different kinds of moisturizers. What kind of moisturizers do I got, Katie?
Eucalyptus.
Yeah, I got eucalyptus, but there's all different kinds of creams in there. There's like what's the one, the skin where you put it on for 60 seconds, Katie?
60 seconds?
In there? Oh no, you can just do it where you can do it. They're saying you can do it all in 60 seconds. Okay, maybe you can. I don't know if this is a good, but I can't. All right, I don't understand how to put that block thing on my face. It takes me a bit longer than that. I'm not gonna lie, but we've got a discount for everybody, so you can check it out yourself. If you want to check out Disco, try their incredible skincare products. A special offer for a Hawk versus Wolf audience. Go to letsdisco.com/HawkWolf. Enter HawkWolf to check out for 30% off your first order. That's disco.com/HawkWolf for 30% off your first order. Thank you, Disco.
That reminds me, I did do a speaking gig in Dublin. This is a different one, actually. That's not the only place I do them, but this was a long time ago. I got invited to go to receive the James Joyce Award, which is
who's that?
James Joyce was a writer.
Oh, okay.
And he was from Ireland. And the idea is just sort of an honorary award that they present to people for accomplishments. It was originally supposed to be a writing award, but now it's like there's been a bunch of actors and musicians and stuff that have received it, and they asked if I wanted to receive. Basically, they just give you a free trip there.
Sweet.
And so I went, and I didn't really have a speech prepared. It was more of a Q&A thing, which is way easier for me because that feels improv and off the cuff.
Yeah.
And it's just not rehearsed.
Yeah.
And so the moderator, someone's asking questions, was asking me questions, and then they went to the audience members, just 15 minutes of Q&A with audience. And this one guy's like, yeah. You, sir, in the red shirt. Yeah, will you play me a game of skate? I said, I don't have my stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, that's all right. I got an extra board. Just totally called me out.
He had two boards with him.
Yeah, called me out. And I was like, I didn't come prepared to skate. I totally tried to weasel out of it.
Yeah.
That really wasn't what I was there for. And I didn't have my skate shoes.
No shit, dude.
The whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And so then whatever, but he kept raising his hand. He kept trying to get back in on the conversation.
Just to bring up.
He wasn't going to let it go. Yeah.
Okay.
So then other people were asking questions and whatever. The whole thing's over. I'm walking out of the building and the dude is right there with two skateboards. He's like, come on, man. And so we went.
You went at it.
We went at it.
Was he any good?
He was pretty good.
Did you beat him?
I beat him.
Yeah.
He was pissed.
What?
He was so pissed.
Right? Like that. I knew, like, anybody that's that dedicated to making sure you play skate with him before he leaves is like, there's one. Here's my goal in life. I'm mean at skate, and I'm going to challenge Tony Hawk, and I'm going to beat him, and I'm going to tell everybody. And
what? I've seen someone has tagged me in it. It's on YouTube somewhere.
The fight.
The skate off. The game of skate. Yeah, because
what shoes did you have on?
I can't remember. I don't remember
dress
if
shoes?
I don't think so. But I think that the shoes I wore were not intended for skating, but they were I have a couple of sort of shoes that are they're skater shoes, but they look nicer.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was wearing. This is a long time ago, but I do remember the last thing. So I got a couple of old school tricks in my pocket that
Fucked it.
People just can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just, what?
Nice.
Like, no complier, you shift it all the way 180 and then bring it back.
Yeah.
I got that one.
Oh, and you got it down.
Yeah. And then it's
Right.
like, what? And I remember when I did that, I heard him back there. He's like, fuck you, Tony Hawk.
Because he thought you were going to like nollie flip fucking bullshit.
I can't nollie flip.
I know, right? Me neither.
But I can't remember what, there was one trick at the end that it started to get down to the wire. And then there was one trick at the end where I got it and he's just like, couldn't
Wouldn't
do
even
it.
try.
He just could he knew it right then.
It's the difference
But-
between the good and the bad right there. Should
It's
have at least
rough.
tried.
I mean, imagine that. Imagine like that you're doing a comedy thing. People know you're a pro skater and they're like, hey man, I'll meet you out back afterwards. See
Yeah.
what happens. But the
Yeah,
thing about this one is
I'll
that
kick you in the fucking leg.
the thing
and be
about
like,
this
"All
one
right,
is
go."
that the entire crowd was still there.
They watched it.
They all watched it. Yeah, that was the
And these
part
are like
because
adults.
I couldn't. That was the thing. I was leaving the venue, and he's there, and and of course, my first instinct is like, I didn't come for that. I don't want to do
Yeah.
that. All the people were still surrounding this area, and they're like, yeah, let's go.
Everybody wanted it to happen.
of course, yeah.
Do you think everybody wanted you to lose? Or do you think everybody wanted you to prove it?
I don't think I really thought that far into it.
It just seemed like everyone's like, yeah, come on, play
Oh,
this
for
random
sure they'd
guy
be-
skate. I'm like, why does he have to play this
They
random
would be
guy?
stoked if he'd won. Oh,
Right.
absolutely, yeah.
Right.
I mean, because clearly he was a local hotshot.
Okay, right. So it's kind of like when anybody scores on Jordan, when then that video gets
Sure,
to live
yeah,
in
yeah,
glory.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't he like when he used to go play games for big businesses or whatever, I guess some guy.
Scoring on him.
Yeah. And it was like a thing for like 10 years. Like the video was just viral because it was like, watch this guy score a point on Michael Jordan. I'm like,
Who
yeah,
cares?
well,
I mean, I get it, but are you really? I guess my viewpoint is: does that somehow bring down Michael Jordan in your eyes,
I think that it would be up for Michael Jordan.
or just makes
to,
him more mortal?
If he had gone, fuck, what the fuck, and freaked out, then that would have crushed his life. But because he was like, yeah,
Right.
congratulations.
Yeah, right.
And then even the people that don't understand the ins and outs of a high level sport, they know that it's like, yeah, okay. But then let's go game 7 and get this fucking dude down here and see how he's going to fuck. Like, who are we kidding here? We know
Right.
who's who.
Yeah.
But yeah, yes, you did score a point on a guy that was probably like giving it a 60% chance
Yeah.
because he didn't know you were going to be that good.
I remember on the Bones Brigade tours, some shop or areas, cities, crowds were just hostile. We would show up and they'd be like, "You guys suck! Like, let us skate." It's just like, what?
Yeah.
There was one time where this one dude was harassing us so hard that we just stopped skating. We're like, "Go ahead, go. It's yours. Do it."
Did he?
He sucked. He was terrible.
But he was like, yeah, good then, and went.
Yeah, and then he went, and it was when we had on the Bones Brigade tours, probably like 87, 88. We would show up with a van full of obstacles. So it was these ledges. It was like a bench with PVC around it, a jump ramp,
Nightmare.
a curved rail, like a rainbow rail, but double PVC. I'll never forget because then we had this.
I'd rather play Russian roulette than do that
We had
demo.
this gross styrofoam mattress that covered the stuff. That was if you wanted to sleep on a drive, you had to go back and sleep on the jump ramps.
Nah.
But this one dude came in he was just like, "You guys suck, watch me skate," and then could not make one thing off the jump ramp. And we just sat and watched him. That was it. That was the demo.
Oh,
Like,
the demo
we
didn't
did-
happen because of him. You were like, okay, dude, you win.
Well, we
you can do
skated.
it.
We skated for about half the time we normally would have, and the crowd was so hostile towards us. They're like,
Wait, everyone was backing. the
kind
Heat?
of. Well, no, they were just backing. They just didn't. It was like right when all 8th Street World Industries was coming into the fold, and we were marked as like the old pal, whatever, big corporate company. I mean, it's so weird. Skating is still small, but there was still that element to
It's
it.
just so crazy.
And so they were like, I'll never forget that they were like, "We want 8th Street. We want World next year. And then this guy's like, "I could bust you guys out anyway." And then finally we're like, "Go ahead, go. Yes. You clearly don't want to see us skate.
Yeah.
So go ahead."
Man, I never liked that part of skateboarding. I always felt like when I go to surf awards, the ceremony, the younger guys are like paying homage to guys that are like 80 years old, not your generation, like 2 generations after you.
Right.
Some 20-year-old dude's like, I just got to say that fucking this ancient old Hawaiian guy right here is the fucking bee's knees of everything. And I'm like, okay, nobody even knows Tony Alva from this. Like, let alone say, hey man, everyone needs to respect Tony Alva.
It's different now. It's different now. Because now we have documentation. We've got documentaries like Dogtown Z-Boys that taught a lot of people how
people
this
are
all
more
came to
respectful.
be.
You're saying
Absolutely, yeah.
What was that era?
It was more there was a shift of.
It was like Rocco and all that world industry.
It was
shit,
like
right?
when things were going from ramps to street, so there was already that transition happening, and PAL was like there were the big 5. You know, PAL was one of the big 5 companies, so there was these little companies coming to play, but it was all combative. So their advertising was always mean-spirited at the big companies. I get it. I understand. Like, you know, in hindsight, you understand what was going on there. But they put it in the minds of the new skaters that these guys all suck. They're all old. They're has-beens. And this is the new style of skating. And in some ways, they were right. You know? Like, of course, street skating was more popular.
Yeah, but not having respect for your elders in the game.
There was
you love so much. It seems so stupid. You're not helping anyone.
There was an air of disrespect for sure.
You know, and to be like, oh, Bones Brigade, you know, it's George Powell, you want to work for him? I'm like, you're just some rich dude. You don't fucking skate either, Rocco. Like,
I remember
fuck off.
when we first did our Birdhouse tours, there was even that element to it. We would go to shops and we're doing on Birdhouse tours. We were showing up to skate shops and they would just put whatever in the parking lot and maybe 100 people were there. I mean, usually less, right? We're talking about Birdhouse tours like 92 to 95-ish.
Okay, yeah.
And every once in a while we would be trailing the world crew. And so they would leave graffiti and stuff.
Talking shit.
Yeah, for us.
God.
And it was like, dude, can't we all just get along? This is the smallest industry, the smallest crew. And we're at war.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
No, that's took me a long time too. I'm guilty of it. I hated people in skateboarding for their style. And I was like, he's one of like 20 people that rides the same ramp as you and has done for the last 20 years, just like you. You're like one of 5 people. And this guy's doing the exact same thing. And you're like, oh, fuck you. You do it between the leg. Really? Because it's between the leg. You're not his friend. Like that. It shits me because now everybody counts. Even the ugly mutts back in the day. Dave Crabb, you hideous fucking pinchy snap fucking hand guy. But you were great. You were there. At one point, you used to do that weird thing where you'd have your back wheels on the deck and you truck on the coping and then you'd go rant and do a fucking nollie in with your big crab pinchy arms. Like,
so great.
That was great. And I'm like, oh, this guy's got the shit. So like, shut up. Like, let everybody's ripping and doing their own thing. And even more so now you can tell that the freedom of, I'm going to skate my style. I'm going to wear my pants. I'm going to wear whatever fucking helmet I want. There's all these new people now that are their own master. You know, they don't look like anybody. They're just like, he's that guy, you know, like he figured out his own style.
It's hard. And now there's just a sea of talent. So it's hard to stand out.
It is, huh?
Yeah.
People got way better again, you think?
Yeah.
On street?
Yes. It's crazy now. You see the amount of talent and the stuff that's going on and what people are comfortable with and what they can connect with combos. And I mean, it's crazy. Like I'm every time I see some, I saw, did you see any of the best trick from Tampa?
Nah, yeah, I did. Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
Jamie Foy did frontside blunt slide on a rail and then kicked it over into a nose slide. Like went back to an
Frazier
nose
posted
slide.
it all. I saw that.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we only imagined on video games 10, 15 years ago.
Does Nigel Houston go to Tampa? He doesn't go, huh?
Yeah.
He does?
Sometimes, yeah. I don't know if he wins.
Is he still the best dude?
He's one of the best for sure.
But is there new dudes on the block that are better?
Oh, you got to watch. I mean, now we're getting to the street, but you got to watch the Nyjah versus Paul Rodriguez game of skate.
I did watch a little bit of it. I've watched Paul post
that is insane
because they just keep going.
They keep going, and it's the hardest. It's the hardest combos and big flips and at some point one of them has to learn it for that. The other one has to learn. It's crazy.
And they do it though.
They do it.
Learn it as in do it in 2 tries or is it 3?
If the letters S to T, you only get 1 try, but E you get 2 tries.
Okay.
So whatever. Shout out to Paul Rodriguez, Nyjah Houston.
Yeah, those guys are amazing.
Pretty amazing.
But even if you're not amazing, that's the thing that I've learned, and I'm glad I lived long enough to realize that. Who cares? Just shredding and moving around to the point where you're no longer thinking about the rest of your life. You've won. You're the winner. You know, it's like when you get out and you're like, wait, what rank am I on the deck right now? You fucked up.
The guy that we skated today, Bobby, was an insane street skater.
Yeah, and he looked like he was in some serious danger in the first couple of rides, and then by the end he was fucking flying.
So we skated with Obby Taylor today, and he just hit me up because he was passing through town, and he used to be this insane street skater, and decided one day I want to learn how to skate vert, and started looking like Gons for the most part, like wearing full tech and learning hand plants and stuff, and then said he hasn't skated vert in I don't know, a year or something. Yeah. Came in here and just clicked in.
Yeah, you look great by the end of it. Look like Mike V.
He did kind of, yeah.
And it's weird because you would only know that if you've seen Mike V skate vert because he didn't look like Mike V on the street course. He looked like Mike V when Mike V rode vert.
Did you notice in all that footage that your friend Gregsy sent?
Yeah.
See Gons in every event?
Oh, yeah.
Killing it.
Loving it. You know he wanted to be Christian back then, right?
Gons?
Yeah. It was this big thing where it was such an odd thing because he didn't look like Christian in any way, shape, or form. He's the most odd character on the planet, but he was all about skating vert and skating vert like Christian Osoy. And I'm like, how does a slob fast plant between the legs simulate fucking Christian Osoy at all? But in his mind, he was doing Christian-esque frontside ollies and his backside airs were...
I never imagined that Gons was trying to be anyone.
He would do like Christian impressions. He would do like grinds where he'd start doing the oh and do all the jokey things that Christian does. He was all about that. I thought it was the funniest shit ever because I'm like, you realize you don't look like him, right? And he's like, nuh-uh. I'm like, I hate to break it to you, dude, but your shit does not look like him.
One of my biggest regrets is we did the big demo in Paris. I think it was maybe 89 or 90. Gons, Kevin Staub, Joe Johnson and I.
Yeah.
Danny Way was there too, but we were all hanging out. And after the event, they were going to go out partying, and they were going to the Bandouche, and that was the spot in Paris. The Bandouche was like the Viper Room.
Yeah.
Right?
And you didn't go?
I didn't go because, for one, I thought there's no way we're getting in. Because you had to be
Christian.
like... What's that?
Christian's getting in.
Christian wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
So it was Joe Johnson, Gons, and Kevin who were going.
Yeah.
Right. And so also I was just super tired. So I was like, I can't. And I'm really tired. And also, I don't want to walk around Paris and get shut down at the club. Like this just sounds lame.
This is way back when skateboarding wasn't the coolest thing.
Was not cool.
Right.
And so, but those guys were all artistic.
Pretty
and they
cool.
had a look. For
Joe
sure.
Johnson had a vibe.
Yeah, Joe and Gons too. So anyway, whatever. I fell asleep. Kevin comes back and he's like, "You missed it." What do you mean I missed it? Dude, we were there waiting at the door and they're not letting anyone in. And they looked at us three and they're like, "You guys, come on in." And then we met Keith Haring. Do you know who Keith Haring is?
No, why do I know that name?
Super famous artist in the 80s. He died of AIDS. But you know his art.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he drew. And he was alone at the bar. He's from the US. He was alone at the bar and they were all so excited. Keith Haring was there. They all came up and started talking to him and he was like, "Yeah, man, everyone's so uppity here. They don't want to say hello." And so they ended up just hanging out with Keith Haring all night and he drew on all their stuff. And that is priceless. I can't, like anyone listening that knows who Keith Haring is.
Wait, on their clothes?
On their clothes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you fucking idiot.
And then Kevin came
He
back
fucked
and
up.
he's like, look at Keith Haring took over my shirt. And I was just like, what? And I'm like half asleep, just like, no, it didn't go.
Oh man.
I have a handful of regrets. That's one of them.
Would he have known who you were at that point?
I don't know.
Maybe not though, right?
Maybe not.
Did he know those guys? Did he believe that they were pro skateboarders?
I feel like he might have known Gons.
Okay, well then if he might have known Gons, he would have known you, dude.
But I don't know. I feel like he was just stoked to see Americans that were different.
And he was just there by himself.
By himself, yeah.
There's fucking weird people out there. I get it though. I feel like that's kind of the way it is. It's always like
so on that note, I was just thinking about this because tomorrow's Halloween. This is when we're recording it. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
It's October 30th. Kathy and I went to a party in LA that was I think it was around the same time as X Games. This is maybe 10 years ago or so. And we were walking around this one area, and on a couch by himself was Larry David. And I was like, did you just see what I saw? And she's like, yeah. I go, oh my God, let's get a photo with him. We go back around. He's gone.
You did. I was
He's
like,
gone.
I would not do that with him. I feel like he'd be so bummed that I don't want to be a part of it.
It was a
but he's
party.
so lame.
What's that?
He's so lame.
He's so lame.
I knew it. Katie does that too. Like he's so like not into anybody.
Yes, I understand that, but
like he hates you if you ask for a photo. I would assume anyway.
I'll give you that, but he was in a place where it's kind of the thing.
Right.
He's surrounded by people. Like we know he's like antisocial and he has all these idiosyncrasies. It's all in the show. Like we get it,
right.
but he was there on display. It wasn't like he was, you know what I mean? It wasn't like he was waiting in line at the DMV and didn't want to be bothered.
Yeah, okay.
He was at a party that was clearly a social event. But anyway, long story short, we didn't get the photo.
All right.
And I was bummed.
Have you met him?
That was it.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. He was at my dentist once, but I didn't care. The only thing I cared about is Katie's like, that's Larry David. And I go, does he really have Skechers on? What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Wow.
That's what I thought.
That's your takeaway.
The guy had Skechers on.
I dressed up as him for Halloween.
I know, and you looked amazing. Did you put Skechers on for it?
No, I
could have sworn he had the Skechers on that he had from like 3 seasons ago on the TV show.
I actually, I sent his daughter a message. She's on Instagram, and I asked her what kind of glasses to get, and she said he has these frames that are impossible to get. Like he bought a stock load of them, and they're discontinued, and he has his optometrist fit lenses into them.
What a champion! He found one that you can't get and bought them all.
Of course.
It makes sense, I guess. Yeah, Katie's like, why don't you like? I do like him. I do think his show's funny, but I can't like the greatest show I've ever watched. It's not that show.
Okay,
she's like, how could you say that?
Freak out to see.
Oh, Metallica is probably still. If James Hetfield's anywhere, I'm like, oh my fucking God, that's pretty.
But
crazy.
you met him.
Yeah,
I'm saying who you haven't met.
Yeah, I don't really care. I mean, I guess Israel Adesanya, like the UFC fighter, I would like to meet him, but I'd only like to meet him if he was like, oh yeah, good for you, kid. Like if he's like that, then I don't want to meet him. But if he's like, oh, I mean, I'm going to give you a legitimate couple of in a conversation, then yeah, I would love to be a part of that. But I don't want to be like, yeah, man, here's my signature. Get the fuck out of here. I'd be like, man, you ruined that relationship. I don't want it to be like that, which is highly likely. So yeah, I don't really want to meet anybody. Danzig, I already met him. That was a bummer.
But you're seeing him tomorrow.
I'm seeing him tomorrow, yeah. I'm not going to dress.
Wasn't that much of a bummer.
Well, he's singing Elvis songs. If he was like, hey, meet me at this place and I'll have a conversation with you, I ain't going. He's not that interesting. Wait, I'm sounding like a hater.
Yeah, that's a very strange analogy.
He was on my show. He did a contract where he wrote his own contract over the top of the contract.
Oh, we talked about that, yeah.
Yeah, and then when after the show ended, Katie and I talked to him about BDSM, and he goes, "Oh yeah, you're into that?" And I go, Yeah, we are. And he's like, well, if you can come over to my house if you want, but there's no fucking safe word. And I was like, do you think that fucking scares me, dude? Like, what is your deal? You're so lame. There's no safe word. Shut up.
Wow.
I'm like, what is that? I feel like he was trying to say that to make it sound more appetizing to us. Like, there's no safe word. I'm like, who has a safe word? What are you
So
talking?
you might get killed.
I know, right? No, exactly. No, like, stop.
Playing with your life.
Like, if I say
you agree
stop,
to
you're
be
not
with me.
going to stop. Is that what you
Yeah.
just admitted to me?
Yeah.
That if you come to my
I
house.
think you'd be able to stop him.
I was going to say, like, what if I just rip out of your device and beat your ass?
Your device.
What? It's BDSM, man. There's devices in there.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm not as well versed.
Fair enough. We should change the subject quickly. But yeah, Danzig, great. Can't wait to see him. I have been listening to the album and it is good. It's going to be easy listening, not super hard rock stuff. So I'll be able to kind of relax.
Okay.
He's got this.
I do regret not getting a photo with Tupac when I saw him. Did we talk about that already?
Yeah.
We did, right?
Yeah,
I don't know
you
where I've
fucked
told
up.
these stories.
I got a photo with Master P once.
That's sick. Yeah.
He had security with him, and I remember thinking, why do you have security with, you're like 6'7", and you're Master P. Don't you have a fucking gun on your hip?
Yeah.
Like, why do you need these two jokers at the Athlete Lounge at X Games? Like, you'll be fine. You could beat up everybody
It's like
in
50
here.
Cent.
Yeah, well, 50's a little bit of a hobbly guy. And you'd be surprised. Just because you lift weights doesn't mean you can defend yourself. But Master P, I knew it. He had a license to carry everywhere he goes in every country. He got something that you can't get.
What is he, Secret Service?
Dude, he got some shit. I don't know. The Colin told me a long time ago. This dude's strapped 24/7. He has some license to carry everywhere he goes because of his lifestyle or however he fucking fandangled it. Where it was like, yeah, man, I need it. I have to for survival. And I knew that. Colin McKay, shout out to Colin McKay, who told me, yeah, P's always got a gun on him. So now I see P at the Athlete Lounge at X Games, and I'm like, I mean, what if he doesn't like me saying?
Wow.
I was worried. Like, we took a photo and I was like, eh. It was kind of like the first time I saw Jay-Z.
What, just because you knew that?
Yeah. I thought P was like, man, this fucking white boy from Sandringham, get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
I just assumed that he'd think that I was like below him and maybe he would shoot me.
My godson, Keaton, is Secret Service. And
Sick.
he always has a gun, but he has to, and when
Will
he
he fight
travels, what's that?
Would he fight me?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I just like to know how good I do
Probably
against
wouldn't be
Secret
good for his
Service.
resume.
Well, don't tell anybody.
Oh, I see. or for showing up to work the next day,
Oh, yeah.
right?
All right. Well, when he takes a vacation, hit me up.
But he always has a gun. He has to keep it in a safe when he travels.
Cool.
But he has to show up early to airports to
because he has to
go
show.
through security.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a weird. It's a whole different. It's a whole different dynamic situation. I mean, think about it. So he's on a plane with a gun.
He doesn't check. He has it on his side.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I mean,
Even when he's not
Secret
working.
Service. Yeah, we met up. Well, I don't know how much I can tell about that, but yeah, we met up with him a few years ago in New York, and
He's always ready.
yeah, I think it was more that he didn't have a safe to put it in that day, so it was just like, yeah, because we went out to dinner, and it's like, oh, do you want a drink? He's like, no, because it's like, no, because
I have a gun.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Oh, well, good for him for being incredibly mature about it. Because
it's his job.
yeah, sure, I'll have a
Yeah.
drink. Like, yeah, well, man, I don't need that guy defending.
Wasn't there
people.
some secret security guy that, like in a couple years ago where he was at a party dancing and his gun fell out? Did you see that?
No. Wait, it didn't go off, did it?
It did. Yeah. It was a big
Wait, so he didn't have it on
controversy.
safety?
I don't know.
I don't even know how you make a gun go off. When you drop it on the ground, where does it hit the
But
trigger?
also he was doing some goofy dance and then doing the splits, and all of a sudden it was like, oh,
okay.
your gun fell out and it went off. We have a problem.
And it went off.
Yeah.
In a crowded
It's like
room.
a bad movie.
You're so, even if it doesn't get anybody, you need to get the fuck out of here and never show your face again. Do you know what I mean? Like whoever's in charge of the
Yeah.
function is like, Really?
Yeah.
Did you just almost murder people in here?
Crazy.
Yeah, they're very dangerous, those guns. It's a very confusing thing because I have them, but I grew up around them and was taught gun safety. I think it's really crazy how many people
But
have
aren't the
guns.
laws way different in Oz?
Yeah, it's way more
Strict.
It's way stricter. You can't have a handgun. Just can't have one. You
Right.
can have a hunting rifle.
Ah,
So, but with hunting rifles, there's a way to carry them. You have it on safety.
did you go
don't have-
hunting for
Yeah.
animals?
Yeah.
For what?
At first rabbits, and then I moved my way up to wild boar, razorbacks and shit when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
One time.
Did you eat them?
Oh, fuck yeah. I ate their kidneys.
What?
And this guy, my dad's friend, Czechoslovakian guy, he escaped from Czechoslovakia in jail. And he said he had to like swim over a river, and at the end of the river to walk back onto shore, they had razor blades everywhere. So he got all cut up on the razor blades trying to escape from Czech Republic, because it's Czechoslovakia when he escaped. It was a long time ago. It's called Czech Republic now.
Yes.
But he's got this blobby Hafer tattoo on his arm, and he didn't like it, so he put acid on it and tried to sand it off with sandpaper. He said it hurt too much to get it all off, but he got most of it off. So he's a super gnarly, tough, like weird guy. And him and my dad were best friends, but he took us boar hunting. And the first boar I got, we had a campfire, and there was this big noise, and everyone goes, "Get up in the tree!" And I'm like, "Get up in a tree? What?" And I get up in a tree, and all these pigs just start bolting over the fire, smashing it, like stampeding through it.
So
Hundreds of them.
they were coming for you guys?
They were
or
coming for the fire. And they just trampled it out, like ripped through it. I'm like, what the fuck?
What do they got against fire?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I just remember get up the tree. So I got up the tree, and then I'm like, whoa, that's a lot whoa, those are big pigs. Whoa, that is crazy. They're like running through the fire even. And then a guy, my dad's friend, drops down out of the tree and starts shooting. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I drop out of the tree, and I got a pump action shotgun that my dad got me, and he sawed off the handle and the nozzle so that I could hold it up. Like, because it's too heavy for me to hold the front end.
So I'm assuming that's not regulation.
Yeah, that one had to go when they did the. This is a long time ago. Before I was around in Australia when they said, right, school shooting, that's not good. So we're going to ban all guns that are like assault rifles. So if you've got one, hand them in. We'll give you some money for them. But if you don't hand them in and we catch you, we're going to fucking nail you to the wall. So my dad gave almost every illegal gun back.
Except that one.
Except that one that after he died, I shot it off after the funeral in the house. And my stepmom, because I was like, he's dead. I'm in charge of the house now. And he had this 22 that had 16 bullet magazine. You can't have 16 round magazine in Australia. And I loaded up on the balcony, and everyone's down there drinking, and we're about to pour the ashes out on the house or whatever. And I'm like, pop, 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 pop. And she goes, chase it. And I'm like, what? Put that fucking. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, never raises her voice like that. And I was like, oh, shit. She's like, where'd you get that? I was like, in the secret spot where Dad showed me he stashed it. Like, that's where. Like, and she's like, well, get rid of that. I'm like, I'm not getting rid of it. Like, what am I, the fucking mafia? You get rid of it. I don't even live here anymore. I just came here to shoot some bullets and cry about my dad dying.
Wow.
So, yeah, those ones got, most of them got
But wait,
taken away.
you didn't go back into, you shot a boar for its kidneys?
No, the Czechoslovakian guy. So I shot a boar. At one point, I shot a boar in the back of the head, and it skidded across the ground and got up squealing and then started running back at me. I had to shoot it a bunch of times to make it drop, and then a pig dog attacked it. And then at one point, because they got big tusks, the pig dog's collar got under the tusk, and he went woof and threw the dog like 20 feet and snapped the collar off with his tusk. The dog was all right, but they're like really strong.
There's actual breed of pig, like
Razorbacks. They have
no pig dog.
Yeah, we have pig dogs in America that are like, they look like American pit bulls, but they're not called that. There's something else.
Huh.
So you can have dogs that you train them to help you get the pig, I guess. I didn't know much about it.
Wow.
But then I had to cut it. They hung it on a tree from its legs.
God.
Should I leave this out? Yeah, I don't need it.
Yeah, I
chopped
understand what happened now.
I did some stuff to it, and then he was like, you eat the kidneys. And I'm like, I don't want to eat the kidneys. Like, oh, it's the best part. I'm like, is it? And then he put a bunch of garlic salt on it, and it was good, but I don't know. But then I got older, and I decided that I didn't like killing animals anymore. I went back when
Do you think that was a catalyst for you deciding not to eat meat?
No, I just got older, and I moved to America, and I started being friends with people like Chris Miller, and I watched his wife. I lived at his house, and his wife ate a plant-based diet. And I'm like, what? What are you doing that for?
Long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago. And she just, I've always loved animals. My mom's always loved animals. I got cats and dogs everywhere in my house. I slept with them my whole life. And then the thing that ended it, I think I was probably about 30, something like that. I went back to Australia before Devon was about 1. So right when the Tony Hawk show started, I shot a rabbit. Went rabbit hunting with my brother. Hadn't seen him in a year. Went rabbit hunting. Like I always used to go rabbit hunting.
Yeah, like back in the day.
Yeah.
Old time's sake.
I shoot the rabbit, and then I go grab the rabbit, and the rabbit looks like my pug. And I'm like, I can't do it. I can't believe and then there's video of it. Andrea actually has video of me walking up the driveway, and she goes, "What's wrong?" And I've just got a dark face. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it.
But that's transformative. I mean, that makes sense.
That's the last time I ever shot an animal.
Yep.
Not against anybody shooting animals. If you want to go hunt, great. I think it's a better idea than going to the supermarket.
That's an interesting journey where you had this other event where it's, this is it, and we're doing this, and we're eating the innards and everything else, and then later on it's like, oh, that was a bummer. I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like when you're raised to be something and you don't argue that you might not be that,
right?
You'd be surprised. I feel like now in my 50s, I'm like, man, I'm surprised I even like skateboarding.
I remember when Riley realized that we were eating meat because when you're little, I mean, he was 2 or 3, but when you're little, you just, chicken and whatever. And he never connected that was actually a chicken or that was actually a cow or whatever it was. And we were at the sushi bar, and they had this crazy sushi tray that they bring out.
Someone's alive on there.
No, but with a half lobster cut in half.
Oh, yeah.
So lobster's and with a bunch of other sushi. It was like this magnificent dish that they served.
Yeah.
And they brought it out, and he's like, that looks real. And I go, yeah, it's real. And he's like, no, it's not real. Yeah, right. This is real lobster. He's like, why do people eat real?
I love him for that. I think that is why. You don't have to.
But sometimes you hear about kids, even that age, where it's just like, that's it, I'm not eating meat, because it was so traumatic in that sense.
Wow, that's so, man, how he managed to.
The irony is that, not irony, but the weird journey of his life is that he ended up being allergic to chicken later on in life.
What?
And so now mostly he eats seafood.
Oh, wow.
So now he eats real.
Oh, yeah.
I feel bad, though, sometimes that I'll invite Riley over to dinner, and it's like, what are you guys having? Like, we're having barbecue chicken.
Oh, and he's,
can't eat chicken. Yeah.
See, I feel like as a person that's raised on meat, bread, and sugar and drinking every day, like my dad, he's like, one time I met a guy, never drank. True story. I was like,
he's some unicorn that exists out there. Yeah,
that's how long I've been around.
Crazy.
One time I met a guy claimed he never drank. He was like at least 25. You believe that? I'm like, yeah, Dad, I can believe that. There's people that do that. Crazy. So yeah, that's a different. It's a completely different thing. If it wasn't for America and seeing all these other ways of lifestyles, because some of them I'm like, oh, wow, that looks like it really works great for you. And then I've embraced that because I've tried a lot of things, the Danny Ways and the Colin McKays. I'm like, what are you eating? I'm like, you fucking skate good. Oh, Michael Jordan has a 12-ounce steak and 2 ginger ales. I tried that for 2 years. That did not help skateboarding. 12-ounce steak before you skate.
Is that what you heard?
No, I actually read it in an ESPN magazine at an airport where I was like, because I can't, especially back then, I couldn't read a lot. Yeah. I was like, I just got this one where it was like, every game I eat a 12-ounce steak and 2 ginger ales. And I was like, done.
Stacy Peralta used to take us, like the Bones Brigade, me, Cab, and Mike, and Rodney. We would stay at his house. We would stay at his parents' house in LA, in Santa Monica, before every event, because there would be a contest in Lakewood or at Whittier or at Upland. And then he would take us out to pasta the night before. That was our tradition. Like, you guys need your carbohydrates.
Carbs, right.
You need to get energy.
Yep.
This is like 83,
right.
82. And then we're all like, yeah, we're going out to get our carbohydrates. We got to pasta.
You guys are so pro.
One time we went out and we went to Westwood, and Westwood, what Westwood used to be in LA was the place where all the street performers were. So all the jugglers, and they would have their spots in Westwood.
Yeah.
And so on a Friday night, like Westwood was just lit up.
Oh, I didn't know
and
that.
People going out to dinner and seeing the street performers and whatever. And so Stacy wanted us to experience that Westwood vibe because none of us lived in LA.
Yeah.
And so we would go, and he would drive us to Westwood, but he'd have to park far away. So we would skate to this one Italian place. And Rodney just stopped and started skating. And this crowd just formed around him because he's Rodney.
Yeah.
It's like he's doing magic.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Rodney is a street performer.
Oh, shit.
And he's doing a show.
Yeah.
And then this one dude that was down the street on the same block came over and just started freaking out on him.
Oh, wow.
He's like, you don't come in here, and this is my block, and you don't, and Rodney, I mean, at one point Rodney knew he was on display, but he didn't realize that he was causing such a stir and he's like, you're taking my crowd away, and you don't just come in here without meeting everyone. And Rodney's like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. And then people started yelling at the dude
yelling Oh, no. So that dude was even more bummed.
Yeah.
Like, people were throwing money at Rodney Mullen.
Yeah.
Like, no, have more money.
Because it was over. Well, none
okay.
of us had money. I mean, come on. This is like 82. We're making $100 royalty checks. Like, no one's making money. But it was just funny that people started. Then Rodney's like, oh, okay, thank you, and just picking up change and dollar bills and stuff.
Picking it up. I'm so surprised there was an era where Rodney was like, oh, spare change. Let me pick that up. Because I have to, because I'm making money.
I'm sure from Rodney's perspective, it was more of a courtesy. Rodney has never been.
He didn't care either way.
No.
He's an odd fellow, isn't he?
He's the best.
I also feel like when you're an odd fellow that doesn't answer to everybody else's bullshit, you can, whatever your opinion is irrelevant. He's living a fucking.
We should get Rodney on
his
here.
life. Yeah.
Rodney would never blow you away.
Yeah, but only one time, man. I wouldn't bring it up around him, but one time back in my party era, I don't know how this happened, but he came to my house, and I don't know why or how. Like,
where?
In Encinitas had a skate house, but I rented one floor down, but the dude that owned the roof, he owned the house, and he was like super on the blow, big time. And he was like, he had a girlfriend who could never keep her mouth. She was like, she would talk with her tongue out because she did so much blow. Her nose didn't work, so she'd go, how's it going? I'm like,
that doesn't sound like a situation Rodney would walk into.
Yeah, so I'm in this house and we're partying and it's late. And someone goes, Rodney Mullen's here. And I go, yeah, that's fucking hilarious because if Rodney Mullen was here, he would fucking freak out. Oh my God, Rodney Mullen's here. And he's just standing in the living room going, yeah, Jason. And I'm like, fuck, sorry, Rodney. And he's like, oh, it's okay. And I'm like, man, there must
have been some world connection.
I think that there was other skateboarders that were in the house and it might have been a globe thing.
Yeah.
But he didn't come to see me. There was other skaters there.
Sure,
and
that was the link.
But he knew when I said, oh shit, Rodney Mullen's here, that he needed to go. But not like I want to make you go. I'm like, oh, hey, you should not be in this house. Just in this room here, very bad stuff. You need to go get him out of here. Like, I was not, people were like, man, Rodney Mullen's in your house. And I'm like, get him out of here. He is too nice to be in here.
I remember I went on a trip to Tahiti with Rodney for a demo.
Just you and him.
Just me and him.
Sick.
They had a vert ramp. They built a vert ramp for me. And then I think they had him doing freestyle on the flat. That was the demo. Like
1-2 punch.
Tony, and then here's Rodney.
Yeah.
And I remember, and the guy wanted to show off that he had connections everywhere. So
I hate those guys.
he put us up in a hotel that's on stilts in the water. You know, we have like our own rooms, and we don't know what to do with ourselves. We're just like, oh yeah, when do we skate? What's happening?
Yeah.
And then I remember Rodney. This is so him. He was reading Nietzsche, which is philosopher.
Yeah.
And he goes, he said to me one morning, because we were talking about Oingo Boingo.
The band.
The Boing.
Yeah.
The band, because we loved Only a Lad, the album.
That's right. You guys are fucking weird. Yeah.
And so we're talking about, he goes, you know, it's so weird. I go to bed questioning my existence, and I wake up singing Oingo Boingo.
What are you supposed to say back to that?
I was like, well, I'm more in your wake up zone. That's more of like that's what speed I'm on all the time. I'm not questioning my existence. I'm not really debating Nietzsche. I'm just listening to Oingo Boingo.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, fuck yeah. No, that's definitely my motto too. I don't like Oingo Boingo, but
right,
I'm
but you're more of the.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Why am I really? No, I don't think about that. Never. Best not to figure out that one,
Yeah,
I think.
Rodney's probably listening to less Oingo Boingo now,
Right.
as am I.
He's had 30 years to get past it. Not saying it's a bad band, just saying
Dude's a
stuff.
super
Let's move
genius.
on.
We'll get him here.
That's going to be exciting. I will be pumped on that.
Okay.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening. Like and subscribe, just like Tony says. YouTube channel, sign up to all those things, or not. We're pretty confident. Maybe you should join another gang if you don't think we're that cool. But I think you should probably be with us.
No, it's a big tent.
We're very cool.
It's
a very cool tent. It's like a
We're
chic
all
tent.
in here. It's okay.
Remember
it's
that
like
tent?
a what?
Chic tent. You remember that tent that John Wick had to go to cut his finger off, and the guy let him go? It's very similar to that. It's very cool. It's very important. VIP only.
Yeah, I was
people.
going a different direction with that, but
That's
okay.
weird.
All right. Describe.
Very
See ya.
red rugs. Deep blood red rugs.
Okay, he's off on a tangent.
I should go.
See ya.